Hello, my name is Elijah Wells, and today is the video of what films I am anticipating for 2021. And I'm going to throw some disclaimers out and about already. Most of these films were going to be released for 2020, but you know what happened, and they were delayed to 2021. And the other rules are, if it's not on my radar, I'm not mentioning it. And of course, like last year, all these movies are going to be prone to delays. Given the you know what happened, expect them to be delayed again. But anyways, let's get on with it. Winter releases. Starting the year off in January, we got Sound of Metal coming out on 29th of January, which is another film from 2020, which I'm hearing a lot of good things about, and also a new role I'm making as I go along. I'm including 2020 movies, like films that appeared like much of the world last year or on film festivals, so I'm going to include them, just there's a little bit more variety into the mixed. Yeah, Sound of Metal, which I've heard good things about. And there's also, on the same day, Monster Hunter, which I'm not again hearing a lot of good things about, because when apparently got released in China, it apparently displayed a racist joke about Chinese people. They were apparently really mad about it, to the point it got pulled from cinemas. So I think I'm watching it with some level of caution, but who knows? It could be I think, judging by reviews from US, since it just only opened there, I think I'm not going to skip that one out, just so I don't get exposed to anti-Chinese propaganda. And 5th of February, there's The Croods: A New Age, which again I was kind of a bit at all, because I didn't think The Croods would be getting a sequel, but apparently with the re-emergence of Nick Cage, it was kind of inevitable, I guess. So them knew them, I guess. And as 5th of February, there's Cinderella, which I don't remember there's anything about yet. I know it has come. I'm still not hearing anything about the film, even though it's coming out in February. I think it's going to be delayed, that one, Cinderella. And of course, on 12th of February, there's Peter Rabbit 2: The Runaway, which I might watch, even though it's been now delayed for like a year now due to COVID, since it was said to be released around the same time last year, but due to COVID, and it got delayed. It was kind of funny because there was Easter packaging with only in cinemas out this month, and it was already delayed, so it was kind of awkward, and make things a little bit more awkward where there were like cardboard cutouts in cinemas, and someone put it out on Twitter. Yeah, which was a little bit hilarious, to be honest. And 19th February, there's Nomadland, which I am very ecstatic to watch, to be honest, because it's become the first ever film to win the Venice Film Festival and the Toronto Film Festival. The first film to win both top prizes from these respective festivals, so I'm keen. And also Frances McDormand could win her third Oscar. Her first being Fargo, her second being Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. And just to round up the winter releases, there's Judas and Black Messiah, which I'm somewhat keen. I think that it wasn't sure where it was going to stand, like award season wise, if it's going to be this year or next year, but it's been confirmed that it's going to be this year, so I could give that film a go. Spring releases. For spring releases, for 12th of March, there's Kingsman, which is a prequel to Kingsman, but about Eggsy and Colin Firth. And to be totally honest, I'm kind of a bit skeptical about this movie, the more press that comes out of this movie, because not just the exception of the cast members, I think it's just a case of, I think they're just kind of how it really ties into the film, and how the fans are going to react to it. Whether it's going to be just your run-of-the-mill action film where it's not really that much canon and you can just easily remove it, or it's just going to play a major part that they just subtly referenced in one of the previous films. And I remember more of the first film than the second film, to be honest, so there's that problem as well, but I could watch it if a friend invites me to. On the same day, there's Raja and the Last Dragon, which is going to be on Disney Plus and maybe in cinemas, depending what model they're going to follow. Like for Artemis Fowl and Mulan remake, I think in UK it's exclusively on Disney Plus. I remember watching like the first 10 minutes of Artemis Fowl, then I got really bored of it because I knew the movie was never going to pick up. And for 19th of March, there's Morbius. Basically, Jared Leto letting go of Joker after the movie Suicide Squad crashed and burnt. And after, like I said, I got Dallas Buyers Club on Blu-ray for Christmas. It seems like he's making his superhero comeback as Spider-Man's villain in a movie that's set in the same world, I guess, as Venom, and definitely set in the Spider-Man world since Michael Keaton's in it as well. So this kind of interests me, or really intrigues me. On the same day, there's Tom and Jerry. Again, this is a little bit controversial. Like I said in the Wonder Woman A4 review, that Warner Brothers is debuting all of its films in North America on HBO Max, and already in the box office returns for the US show it's less than good for Wonder Woman A4, as it only grossed 16.7 million on opening weekend numbers. So it's going to be a little bit problematic, but I'm presuming Tom and Jerry's on a smaller budget and has more of a kids appeal to it, so I'm wondering how well it's going to go down. But the movie itself, it looks like your instant family-friendly films. I could watch it. I wouldn't be that offended. And I like Chloe Grace Moretz, and I like Tommy Jerry, so it could be a match made in heaven, for all I know. For next week, on 26th of March, there's Boss Baby Family Business. Wait, that's coming out? Why? 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 I was about to say, I watched it on DVD and I got so confused about this movie. It's like someone was on so much cocaine while writing it that no one intervened. Like, wait, this movie just doesn't make sense. I find quantum physics more easier to follow than the movie itself, so I know there was a big enough crowd on it because half of YouTube back in 2017 is praising the movie as the next big thing, then completely forgot about it. Well, basically when Lil Pump Gucci Gang was treated as the best song ever, to when Lil Pump was treated as a dirtbag when he endorsed Trump. It's kind of when everyone's a moron back then. I don't get it at all, so I'm giving that one a pass. Now going to April or Easter territory, well, since Easter is never on a defined date, but it's around that time, is 2nd of April is No Time to Die, or James Bond's Next Adventure and Daniel Craig's apparent final film, and it also has Rami Malek in the movie as the main antagonist. It also has Billie Eilish doing the song. Don't get me wrong, Billie Eilish is a brilliant artist. I think one of my favourite songs from her is Everything I Wanted, When the Party's Over, and My Future. I preferably prefer her slower songs rather than something like Therefore I Am or Bad Guy or Buried a Friend. Since it is a really slow song and pays homage to a lot of Bond theme songs through sampling, I'm definitely in. I am in. I don't care if it's as brilliant as Skyfall or if it's as slow and plodding like Spectre. I am in. And for 23rd, there's A Quiet Place Part 2, which I need to see. Even though I should have spent like a year trying to watch the film, but I haven't got around to watching the first film yet, but please don't judge me. I want to see that movie as well as the first film. And the same day, 23rd of April, there's The Last Night in Soho. It's directed by none other than Edgar Wright, who did one of my best films of the decade, like Baby Driver and World's End, as well as Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Even though this is another delayed project, I am kind of intrigued at what he's going to do, since this is going to apparently go into more horror territory. I'm not sure if it's going to be like comedic horror like Shaun of the Dead or World's End. I think it's going to be just straight up horror, like the film premise suggests, like a girl travels to 60s London, particularly the Soho district, and it is just as unpleasant as she didn't imagine it to be. So, I could be in. And 7th of May, there's Black Widow from Marvel. After they pretty much skimped a year out due to you know what happened, I think Black Panther is going to be exclusively in theatres, like in cinemas. I'm not sure if it's going to be like on Disney Plus, since Marvel's now been owned by Disney now. I think probably countering to the reaction to Mulan, the big criticism being that it was too big and too epic and too big scale to be shrunk down to to be viewed on a phone or on television screen, considering COVID-19 had struck down pretty much any film theatre that it encountered. So I'm kind of interested in what Marvel's approach to it is, since they are more well praised than, let's say, the Disney remakes. But again, I think I'm just going to leave it up to them, just seeing what they're going to do if COVID situation doesn't go away anytime soon. 21st of May, there's Godzilla vs. Kong. I did like the new King Kong film, but I liked the first Godzilla, but I didn't really get around to caring about the Godzilla sequel because I just didn't like it enough. For this one, I hope this was just to make up remedies, just how not that great the second film was. So, it's just kind of a here's hoping thing. Again, no trailers or anything, but it's just a case of here goes. And for the final film of spring, there's Cruella, which I'm presuming is a Disney remake, I think, with Emma Stone of Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians. And I think I'm guessing, considering there's no trailers for it yet, and considering Disney remakes are pretty much are slowly walking to their grave, which is a bit fortunate. I think this is going to be on Disney Plus. I think they're just going to have to announce that. Summer releases! For June 18th, there's Pixar's or Disney's Luca, which, well, plot-wise, I'm a little bit cautious about because it's a coming-of-age movie set in Italy. Like, how much of it does it ring to, like, Call Me By Your Name, which is... I've only seen, like, the first half of the film. It's brilliant, but I need to watch the rest of it. Yeah, apparently it has sea monsters in it. And, of course, considering how the considerable amount of praise that Pixar are getting for, like, Toy Story 4 and Onward and Soul, or I think, is it a Pixar movie? I have not the brightest idea it is. Yeah, it is a Pixar film. Well, thanks to the recent announcements, I think it's getting a little bit hard to keep track of which one's Pixar and which one's not Pixar from Disney, but yeah. I think and also for 8th of July, 4 days after 4th of July, it's Top Gun Maverick. And also there was this explicitly rant from Tom Cruise that he's threatening to fire any crew member for not following the laws after catching one of them breaking them during the Mission Impossible 7 movie, which is, I think as we speak right now, is still right in production. I think for this one, I'm kind of keen for this one. It has Miles Teller in it, and Tom Cruise is back in it, and it has a director of Tron Legacy and Oblivion, Joseph Kosinski, I think he's called. He had directed him in Oblivion, so it's kind of interesting where this goes. The next day, on 9th of July, there's Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings, which is going to be Marvel's adventure to Asian territory. I'm not sure if it's going to be set in Asia or it has predominantly Asian characters in it. So it is going to go down that Black Panther route where it's going to have some ethnically diverse characters or non-white characters and kind of explore culture a little bit more. But since we, unlike Black Panther where we did know about the character through film beforehand, for this one I think we're coming in blind again. Unless any of the characters come in Black Widow, but it's just a case of wait and see. And the same day, 9th of July, it's Minions Rise of Gru. I love the Minions. I think it is one of the most feel-good films to come out of the 2010s. And also I like the spin-off film where they go to into 60s London. I think the only stick in the mud there is like fishing rights or Brexit deal. I think the most recent one, the third one that came out back at 2017, is kind of honestly the most dry out of all four films. It's not as brilliant as the other film. I think kind of feels dry, to be honest. But I think we'll just see how they pick up from there. 16th July, there's Space Jam 2, A New Legacy, which undoubtedly I am really stoked on. Like, I'm pretty ecstatic about this movie. Even though we got a little bit of footage from the movie, like Bugs Bunny meeting with LeBron James. It does have Michael Jordan, or unless if he's making a cameo appearance, no Bill Murray or I think John Candy, or that guy who was in the Jurassic Park, who was also in this movie. I forgot his name. And we just hope the person who's writing a song for this film or performing a song isn't a pedophile. But all in all, let's hope this movie believes it could fly. And yes, that song aged like milk. For 30th July, there's Jungle Cruise, which is a Dwayne Johnson movie, but based on an attraction ride from one of the Disney theme parks. And again, it was going to come out last year, but you know what happened and got delayed. And I'm interested to see how the film lands, like, does well in the box office, since I think Dwayne Johnson is the polar and binary opposite of box office poison, so I think knowing he ranks in millions, just, I don't know, if he just sits in a park, I think we'll just see how the COVID environment treats him. And for 6th of August, there's Suicide Squad. And like I remember, this is one of the few films that's released in 2021 and it's actually still keeping its release date in 6th of August. Directed by James Gunn, who did Guardians of the Galaxy, then got fired after comments about pedophilia which resurfaced against him, then only to get hired again by Marvel. But whoopie-doo-hoo, bad news to Marvel, he was hired on the same day they began shooting Suicide Squad. This one has Idris Elba back in the role and Margot Robbie, but no Will Smith. But it does have Viola Davis in it, and it's apparently set in Central America, and it's going to largely ignore the events of the 2016 movie of the same name. And I'm not sure how Jared Leto's character is going to work his way into a film since he's now moved on to Morpheus. And it's kind of confirmed by Margot Robbie that the Joaquin Phoenix Joker has no relation to this universe, like DCEU. Like, I think the tone-wise and colour paletting-wise, and given the character's chemistry, I don't think Joaquin Phoenix will be hanging out with Margot Robbie anytime soon. Also, vegan rights, according to Joaquin Phoenix. And 27th of August, there's the Beatles Get Back. And also, this is from Peter Jackson, from what I heard. This is going to be like a documentary. I'm not sure what approach they're going to do it. I think they're going to like colorize some footage and give it some speed revamp, like speed it up a bit. And it's directed by Peter Jackson, who did Lord of the Rings films. But I'm not entirely too sure what direction they're going to go with or what's got to store. Get back to where you once belong. And Candyman, which is a remake of like an 80s, 90s horror film, which came out the same day. Autumn releases. To round things up with the autumn releases, for 1st of October there's the Denis Villeneuve movie, Dune, which I'm really unbelievably ecstatic to watch, because after the trailer came out, with the supposed date that will come out this Christmas, but got delayed to October. Yeah, the trailer, when I saw it in the cinema, was absolutely huge and demonstrated the point that it should be seen on the big screen. Thanks to a Hans Zimmer cover of Pink Floyd's Eclipse from the album Dark Side of the Moon. And also its production company, Legendary, even is now filing a lawsuit against Warner Brothers for putting the film on HBO Max, allegedly without their permission. So I kind of want to see how it goes, but I'm hoping it goes in cinemas because the trailer looks spectacular. and the last duel with Ridley Scott, and it's written and acted by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, who, of course, being real life friends. Also written Good Will Hunting, which they both won an Oscar for. I think this is their first writing effort for nearly 25 years, which I am really proud that they really got around to writing again now. And it's also directed by Ridley Scott, so it can't go wrong. And I think it has Adam Driver in it, from the top of my head, but I'm just going to check quickly, and yes it does. So I'm pretty excited where Ridley Scott takes this movie. There's also, on first, that comes out 15th October, on I think around that time there's Unspecified is the third Spider-Man Homecoming film. Apparently this is going to involve Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and Jamie Foxx in it. Yeah, I'm a little bit cautious about this because we already had a Spider-Verse film, unless this is going to be in a completely different direction, like it's going to incorporate all the movies that came before it. Unless if it's kind of like that theory from the Joker where Arthur Fleck is the actually can be fitted in all the incarnations of a Joker, so it could be that, but I think it could be that each of the three films could either coexist in the same universe, or the multiverse is apparently now apparent in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but who knows. Now going for Christmas, got two more films. There's The West Side Story, which is directed by Steven Spielberg, and it's going to be apparently be more faithful to the source material than the 60 movie is, and it has Steven Spielberg, so I'm in. And finally, for the 22nd of December, there's The Matrix 4, which I am so excited for. Keanu Reeves is back, and the Wachowskis are back, and I'm not sure if it's gonna be on HBO Max, like I said. I'm not sure who's behind it specifically. I'm not sure if it's Legendary with the Dune fiasco, but yeah, I'm not sure. We have not got anything out from at all, except some news that some COVID laws were broken. The official logo was released, but considering this came out nearly 18 years since Revolutions Are Reloaded, which were two sequels, and considering the Wachowskis had a bit of a hit or miss reputation since then, like Speed Racer, which bombed hard in the box office, then Cloud Atlas, which bombed hard in the box office but had a massive cult following, then Jupiter Ascending bombed hard in the box office but was considered a personal so bad it's good film. I'm not sure if it's going to strike gold in the box office, but I do hope it's actually brilliant, like the first Matrix film, or something that holds a candle to the films like Cloud Atlas, which is another Wachowski film. And there you have it. This is the films I'm looking forward for 2021, and this is Elijah Wells, and bye!